Well, I've never really done this before. I'm not really sure where to begin. Either way, it looks like I'm done for. Saying I'm dying a premature death seems a bit dramatic. Rather, I'm dying when you should usually be concerned only with living. Still, dying like this is not at all regrettable. But in the fading light, a certain incident came to mind. One that changed the course of my entire life. What might have happened if I had made a different choice? At the very least, I might not have died like this. If I could only go back and take a different path. Right now, Is something wrong? Why are you suddenly staring into space like that? Hmm? Hearing a chatty's voice, I realized I had been standing there for a while. I couldn't quite remember what it was I was thinking of, other than there had been an air of regret. Are you sick? No, it's nothing. I just zoned out, that's all. The castle is in such a state of disarray because of the coronation. My head is spinning. With a 3-day banquet, I doubt it will get better anytime soon either. I'm constantly worried about making a mistake. Ugh, she's right. This isn't the time for daydreaming. Today is a very important day. Even though Aether kept insisting his position was only temporary, I guess we all knew this day would come. Right. But what's that in your hand? It looks like jewelry. Alright. So we can now choose either to go with "it's for you" or "I found it in the banquet hall." But I have no idea who it's this talking to a chatty, so we might just go with the safer option here. Lucky me, I needed money anyway. Something this fancy should fetch a pretty penny. You know that's illegal, right? You know what they say, better to ask for forgiveness than permission. I can just repent. Don't take advantage of the goddess's mercy so casually, you'll be punished. Although I think it has some kind of coat of arms on it. You wouldn't be able to sell it anyway. Oh, you're right. What a shame. I'm feeling a little dizzy, though. Maybe I should go rest somewhere quiet. You can lean on me. I'll show you a good place to relax. Thank you, Ashatis. Ugh, thanks to the banquet, you can't rest here either. There are people wherever we go. There's nothing else for it. We'll have to take you to the Blue Cross prayer room. It will be quiet there. Is that allowed? I just do odd jobs around the palace. I'm not even a member of the church. It will be fine. The Holy Order of the Blue Cross was made to be a place where the needy can find help and refuge. What kind of church would we be if we weren't willing to give up a little space for the ill? Okay, the prayer room is this way. And oh, this shows clear all endings, and there's good endings. It's very interesting, this one. So do I just continue on there, and then... Or can I also take the other option in the story there? In a hall on the way to the Holy Order of the Blue Cross, Achates and I overhear whispering, just when we were about to hear more. I'm sure this hallway should be quiet. Since it's only connected to the main temple of the Blue Cross, not many people come down here. You can't imagine how happy I was to find this place. I really needed a place where I could walk quietly without being bothered. So here we can choose to say, you seem to really like quiet places, or to ask if something was wrong, and we'll go with the second option again here. Yes, there was something I needed to think about. I joined the Holy Order of the Blue Cross against my father's will, but I couldn't help but wonder if I had made the right choice. Especially seeing people like Clarissa, who have done so well. Recently, I've begun to believe that the goddess must have a plan for me, to have set me on this path. There must be something I need to do, something only I can do. I hope to find it soon. You will, believe me. You're the kindest and most hardworking person I know. Stop it. You're making me blush. But thank you for saying that. Is it just me, or is someone standing at the end of the corridor? Oh, you're right. Who could it be? At the end of the gloomy corridor, several people had gathered and were discussing something quietly. I can't believe that kid is actually becoming king. At this rate, Charles is bound to end up the true power behind the throne. He'll be able to do anything he likes. Do you think that old oaf calculated all this from the start? We need to get things moving faster. Definitely. How's it going? All of the preliminary preparations are complete. The conclave is gradually declining in power, just as we planned. You don't think? Achates looked at me, her face white in shock. I quietly nodded back to her. If only we could see their faces. They're hidden in shadow. If I get just a little closer. You there! What are you doing? Enoch, be quiet. Why? Get out of my way. Hiding something, are we? No, don't go down there. Leave it, Achates. They've already run off. We needed to find out what they were plotting. So you're eavesdropping on people now. Did the goddess say that was allowed? No, but it was something important. It isn't nice to eavesdrop, least of all for nuns. Got it? Well, I should be going back now. You two go on your way. If Enoch hadn't barged in like that, we would have found out who those people were. What should we do? There's definitely something happening. Should we report it to the conclave? And tell them what, exactly? That there are people plotting against both them and Prince Aether. I'm sure the conclave is already well aware of that. We don't know who the leader is or even what exactly it is they are planning. It's not enough to just tell them there are people plotting against them. Not to mention, who knows if there is already someone within the conclave working with these people? You're not wrong. I just want to help somehow. Then we need to find out more. We already know their voices and we saw one of them vaguely, so we should be able to recognize them again. Maybe we can find them at the banquet. It will be hard to get in without the help of a noble that has been invited. I could have helped you before I joined the Blue Cross, but now? Surely the Moons were invited. Oh, do you have some kind of connection with the Moon family? Not at all. Stop looking at me like I was dumb for asking. How could I not misunderstand when you said it like that? Why did you mention them specifically, then? I think the coat of arms on the jewelry I found is theirs. I'm sure we can use returning this as an excuse to meet with them. They're strong supporters of Aether. Maybe they'd be willing to help. I found out someone plans to endanger Aether in the Conclave. I visit the Moon family in hope of finding help. If that's all it is, I can do it myself. I'll give it back to her for you. No, I need to meet her dire... It hasn't been long since she came home. I'm sure she's far too tired to meet the likes of you. Doesn't seem like we can get inside. What should we do? As we were arguing at the entrance, a soft voice interrupted. What's all this commotion? An elegant young woman was making her way down the steps. It's nothing, my lady. Would I have bothered asking you if I had wanted an answer like that? I expect a real answer when I ask you a question. You dropped this in the banquet hall at the castle, so we came to return it. Oh my, thank you very much. I had been looking for this. And there was something we'd like to talk to you about. Ah, yes. I expect you'll be wanting something in way of a reward. It would seem our guard friend here is not very perceptive. Come in. Let us talk a while. Mistress says her permission is required to invite people inside the mansion. If nobody tells her, then she never needs to know. Really, must I walk you through everything? Forgive me. I won't be so forgiving next time. She's a little scary. Do you think she will really be willing to help? She seems to be a very calculating person. That could mean she's even easier to persuade. We just need to offer her something that meets her expectations. Alright, I'm sure this will make an appropriate reward. Alright, well, we can choose to be like, is that all? Which can go in line with the character, as in our perspective, wanting to make money, as he or she told Ashatis earlier. But we're on this mission, so our choice here shall be the second one again, as we didn't come here expecting material rewards. You can keep your money. Oh, is that so? Then what would you like? I need you to help us with something. To be blunt, we have something we need you to do for us. Have you never heard of the Daughter of the Moon family being referred to as a bird with broken wings? I have no power with which to help you. I can only attend lavish balls and hide behind my fan giggling. That's fine. As long as you're invited in the first place, that's enough for us. You don't seem like you're looking for an old friend or something, but it also appears it may be something that could harm my family if something goes wrong. Aren't you asking for a lot in return for returning some jewelry? Why should I put my own neck on the line for you? It's not for us. It's for Prince Aether and the Conclave. And? The royal family of Azera is in danger. Doesn't your family support Aether? My father does, yes. But I personally think I'd be happier without him. Those are dangerous words. That may be so, but you forget we're meeting in secret. Nothing we say here will leave this room, so why not speak comfortably? Give me a better reason to help you. If that is all you have, we'll end this conversation here. Oh. So we can go the way saying that Bellona was crying at the banquet, which we had apparently seen, or we can say that because helping us will also help you. So, we shall try to persuade Bellona, saying that if she helps us, we will also help her. Because helping us will also help you. In what way? Judging from your conversation with that guard, your stepmother seems to hold you and this family in the palm of her hand, and I don't think you're the kind of person to be happy with that. Then what kind of person do you think I am? Someone who hates to be standing in somebody else's shadow. If my intuition is right, you won't let this opportunity pass you by. This can be a foundation for solidifying your position. We're pursuing a threat against the entirety of Azera. If you can help find a lead on these people, it will be well worth your while. Even if we fail, you can wash your hands of the whole thing. Like you said, nothing we say here leaves these walls. But if you ask me, anything is better than being caged up in this mansion. Leaving all that aside, you speak very eloquently, almost like you're reading off of a script. Honestly, I kept practicing it on the way here, so I wouldn't be too nervous. You didn't sound nervous at all to me. I knew if I didn't at least appear calm, you'd be a lot more uneasy. As you say, it's not a bad offer, and at the very least, it sounds fun, but perhaps, most importantly, before she finished talking, she lifted her fan and rested it on my chin. I stared at her, caught off guard by such an unexpected action. With a satisfied smile, she lowered her fan again. Putting on such a brave face when you're really shaking in your boots is adorable. As expected, her personality isn't very good, but I don't dislike her either. So you're saying you'll help us? Yes, but first, we'll have to do something about your clothes. No wonder the guard reacted like he did with you dressed like that. As shabby as you think these clothes are, they're actually a lot better than usual. So, how do I usually look? It doesn't matter how neat and clean the clothes look. What's important is looking expensive. The banquet is tomorrow night, so I'll spend the day trying to find some clothes for you. You'll be happy to wear whatever I pick out for you, I assume? Bellona looked at me with a smile. I prefer to dress like this. It's no fun if you keep bluffing even now. Tapping gently with her fan, Bellona looked straight into my eyes. A reproachful look, as if to ask me, "Do you really think you have any say in this?" But I guess I should wear something else for the banquet. Under that stare of hers, I couldn't help but surrender immediately. Now the day is June 3rd. I can go back to yesterday by tapping the warp button on the left. This limits to moving only a day at a time, which is a little slow. If I want to move several days at once, I can do so more easily by using the zoom out button. Then if I tap the day I want to go to, I will move directly there. I wonder what might happen today. After successfully persuading Bellona, I joined the banquet with her to find the noble I saw in the hall. Chest out! I'm trying my best. I told you my chest isn't that wide. I attended the banquet wearing some incredibly shiny, rustling clothes that Achetes and Bellona had picked out for me. Oh boy. But thanks to the clothes, nobody looked at me as if I didn't belong. So, that noble you saw is here at this banquet? I'm not sure. There are so many people here, it's hard to tell. Would it be easier if you were in the middle of the hall? But that's the dance floor. That's right. You aren't suggesting... She cut me off by grabbing my wrist and, with absurd strength, pulled me towards the center of the hall. Can you dance? So now we can choose. Can't everybody? I'm not as useless as you think. Or shouldn't you have asked that before dragging me out here? Which is the option I would go for. Because I can't dance really well, so I wouldn't personally say the first option. Shouldn't you have asked that before dragging me out here? But then I wouldn't have been able to see you looking so flustered. That face of yours was the only reason I listened to what you had to say in the first place. Not because of what I offered. I always have people trying to use me for their own ends. Your offer wasn't much better than any of theirs. I don't care about what rewards someone can or cannot offer me, but whether or not they can make me happy. I'm so sick of living this way. She smiled a little, as if she was only joking, but it was plain she meant every word she said. Anyway, we should find the person you're looking for. We'll circle the hall once, so make sure you concentrate. As I danced, I inspected the faces of everyone we passed, but none of them looked familiar. Could they have found the noble by now? I became a sister of the Blue Cross because I wanted to help people in need, but there's nothing I can do except wait and pray. If only Enot had not interrupted back then. It isn't nice to eavesdrop, least of all for nuns, got it? Well, I should be going now. You two go on your way. But where did he actually go? That hallway led nowhere but the Holy Order of the Blue Cross. Why would he walk all that way only to turn back? Could it be a Shatties? Kya! What are you doing out here? You were just staring into space. I just needed some time to think. Actually, Lydica, would there happen to be anyone in the Rose Apostles who looks like they're up to something suspicious? Suspicious? Perhaps like Enot. Oh, him? He's always acting weird and suspicious. He didn't even get into the conclave through the proper procedures in the first place. But that's exactly why everyone is always keeping a close eye on him. He can't do anything stupid without us knowing. I see, but if you think he's up to anything at all, you have to let me know. Of course, Ashatis, and please tell me if you notice anything suspicious as well. Our investigations into heretics have intensified greatly since Queen Diane passed away. The more chaotic times get, the more alert you need to be. We must wipe out the evil that threatens Azira. Oh, okay. She's always so enthusiastic. The Rose Apostles find the Shatties' investigations suspicious, while I talk to the noble in the banquet hall. Shatties was asking that? That's right, she was especially suspicious of Enot. Do you think something has happened? Perhaps. I'm a little worried. What about? She's not being used by someone, is she? Used? I heard that ever since Queen Diane died, there has been a faction doing whatever they can to take advantage of the confusion within Tyrell Castle to weaken the Conclave. Who knows if they could be lying in wait for the slightest misstep by the Conclave as a pretext to make a move. Jenna, you worry about too many silly little things. Ashatis would never help with something as despicable as that. The kindest people are always the easiest to take advantage of, even if they don't mean any harm themselves, if they've fallen under the influence of somebody who does. I too would like it if my hunch was wrong, and if somebody is using Ashatis, unless somebody is helping them. If you really do suspect that, I'll look into it. I will prove Ashatis' innocence. And if, hypothetically, on the extremely unlikely occasion that she really is being manipulated by someone, I will save her. Suddenly, the hairs are standing up on the back of my neck. What's wrong? I don't know. I suddenly had a chill run through me. I guess I'm just not used to wearing these kind of clothes. Anyway, have you found the person you're looking for yet? I nodded towards a noble by the far wall. That's the person threatening Aether and the Conclave? Do you know them? I've seen them at a mansion a few times. As far as I knew, they were one of Aether's supporters. Are you sure you're not mistaken? There's a chance. I only saw them in the shadows. I'll know for sure if I hear their voice. Do you think you can talk with them? Hearing that, a blush of embarrassment momentarily flashed across Bellona's face. Returning to her normal self, she nodded. Fine. I guess I agree to help you, after all. Oh my, is that you, Bellona? You've somehow grown even more beautiful since we last met. As soon as we greeted him, the nobleman made a big fuss over Bellona. Oh, but I've never seen you before. You would be... Ah, this is my new lover. You've never met Baden, have you? So we can here go for the surprise act. Lover? Me? Or we can go for a more noble approach. Instead of being in super shock and blowing the whole thing, we could go for an honor to make your acquaintance, Baden. And we're on a mission, so this is our choice. An honor to make your acquaintance, Baden. I always assumed Bellona had no interest in affairs of the heart. I remember you once told me you'd never get married to somebody weaker than you. We all saw it as a declaration of your intentions to die single. I was young and foolish back then. In fact, I heard your stepmother was very attentive about your education. It would seem all of those bridal lessons finally instilled some femininity in you. Though I thought she was more interested in setting you up with Prince Aether. It hurts my heart so much. Even though I am already in love, my parents are intent on forcing me to marry into royalty. Quiet, Well, the choice is up to you in the end, but it will be a tough fight. But the matter of your marriage is not solely a personal issue. The future of your family and the interests of numerous other noble houses are also at stake. As far as I know, your father has been working on the assumption that your marriage to Aether is already all but decided. Can we stop talking about this? I'm more than aware already how I have no say in my own destiny. Quiet! You're a smart girl, Bellona. I trust you to behave appropriately. There's nothing wrong with being a little defiant in your youth. As long as you return to your rightful place in the end, make the most of your youth and beauty while you still have them. As he spoke, he placed a hand on Bellona's shoulder. I could sense her smile stiffening. I removed his hand from her shoulder and glared at him. We should leave, Bellona. Oh my, I appear to have offended your young companion. I'm sorry, I always have a tendency to tell it how it is. Leaving the sarcastic nobleman behind, I took Bellona's hand and led her out of the banquet hall. I can't stand how little Bellona reacts to such rude statements until she gives her point of view. Why did you get angry? We're not really lovers. There was no reason for you to get offended by what he was saying. Why didn't you respond? He was treating you like an object, a tool. You can't just let somebody talk down to you like that. He's always been like that. There's no use getting angry with him. I was once like you. I got upset and ran away from this damned place. But it was all for nothing. Whatever I do, I can't change anything. she looked angry. Yet, only for a moment, she loosened the tight grip she had on her fan and continued talking. I had to go through a lot until I finally accepted that fact. That's when I abandoned any hope of escape or rebellion, and people began whispering about how this violent young lady had finally had her wings broken. It described me perfectly. Even if it looks fine, a bird that has had its wings broken once can never fly again. I may still dream of flying freely through the skies, but it's only a temporary escape. In the end, it cannot escape its cage. She laughed bitterly to herself. So here we can go to choose to say that we'll help Bellona, or look at her pitifully and even if we have only met Bellona yesterday, we can always try at least to help people who need some help. I'll help you. Just tell me what to do. Don't speak so recklessly. What could you possibly do to help me? Even if everything goes according to your plan, things won't change overnight. I didn't choose to help you because I was naive enough to believe it would. I just wanted a distraction. I know you meant to comfort me. I just want you to know it isn't necessary. From the start, your goal wasn't to save me, but to get my help. I have done as promised, and I've already received enough compensation in return. Going along with my whims and giving me some fun was more than enough. Well, here we have the choice to say that I can't accept that because we would like to really help her out. Or we can just go with, I understand, I won't impose upon you. Which, for now, seems to be the best choice I want to make here. Because it doesn't look like Bellona would currently be alright if we kept on insisting to helping her. Perhaps later she would be. I understand. I won't impose upon you. As you say, we began our acquaintance with a goal in mind, and once our work together is done, there's no need for us to see one another again. You're right. That would be wise. Ah, there you two are! Well, the look on Bellona's face there was not as happy. As Shatties ran over, having found us just in time, it seemed she'd been anxiously wandering around outside the banquet hall for a while. How did it go? Did you find the noble we saw? We were just talking about that. Were you able to recognize their voice? Bellona changed the topic immediately. It was clear she wished to end the conversation we'd been having there. I decided to respect her wishes. Yes, there's no doubt he was our man. His name is Baden Sutherland. His family is one of those who support Aether. He's a man of ruthless ambition, always aiming for more power. When you're a follower of profit over principle like him, it surely can't be hard for someone to convince you of their way of thinking. Be that as it may, this is as far as I can help you. I wish you the best of luck. And just like that, she left us, her words hanging in the air like a final goodbye. Thank the goddess we were able to find out who that person was. Ah, While you were at the banquet, I did a little investigating of my own. What? Did something happen? Hmm? Oh no, it's nothing. Strange. Ashatis, why do you keep running around meeting all these people, having strange conversations? Could they have been talking about convincing him to join their side? But Baden, where have I heard that name before? Nope, can't remember. Thinking really isn't my forte. My specialty is jumping in and forcing out confessions. Fine. From this point on, I'm investigating according to my own methods. I will not allow this great nation filled with the light of the goddess to fall to the forces of evil. Aha. We can enter the special stage. Oh. Would we always be allowed to, or does it depend on the choices that we have made? And why is the quest pointing towards that stage? Oh, well, perhaps I need to clear this stage for it to count. With Bellona's help, I found out who's behind the plot. Now I need to inform the Conclave. I looked further into this Baden person, and he seems to have had a close relationship with Priest Nord. Priest Nord? He assisted Queen Diane during the Archdemon War. They became acquainted after they both worked on a heresy trial together. With the help of Nord, he gained some power. He then started accepting bribes in return for allowing people to enter the Conclave even without the necessary qualifications. People like Enot. It can be no coincidence that he happened to be there in that hallway as well. That's right, but he lost it all after Nord left the Conclave. Do you think perhaps he decided to change allegiance in hopes of regaining his lost power? Anyway, now we have a person and a motive. We can hand this over to the Conclave. They should be able to do the rest. But it was all in vain. At Prince Aether's coronation, one of his guards attempted to assassinate him, only to be thwarted when Baden, who was standing beside him, threw his body in the way of the dagger. Seeing him risk his life for Prince Aether, nobody doubted his loyalty. Instead, people began to criticize the competency of Sir Charles, insisting he be investigated for dereliction of duty. Last I heard, they had uncovered evidence of embezzlement and breach of trust, and for a time Sir Charles could no longer be seen within the walls of Tyrell Castle. Not long after that, Bellona and Aether were married. Both bride and groom looked miserable, but the faces of those around them were full of joy. Watching the wedding from afar, I happened to lock eyes with Bellona. After a moment, she turned away. Was this the best I could have done? What if I had not turned my back on Bellona back there in the garden? Bad ending 1. Poor judgment. Ah. a lot of battle stages and acquiring everything, eliminating monsters. So, that's for the bad ending. For the good ending, we will have to actually keep on persuading Bellona, insisting that we wanna try helping her. So I should do as I choose to do. Why did you get angry? We're not really lovers. There was no reason for you to get offended by what he was saying. Why didn't you respond? He was treating you like an object, a tool. You can't just let somebody talk down to you like that. He's always been like that. There's no use getting angry with him. I was once like you. I got upset and ran away from this damn place. But it was all for nothing. Whatever I do, I can't change anything. She looked angry. Yet, only for a moment, she loosened the tight grip she had on her fan and continued talking. I had to go through a lot until I finally accepted that fact. That's when I abandoned any hope of escape or rebellion, and people began whispering about how this violent young lady had finally had her wings broken. It described me perfectly. Even if it looks fine, a bird that has had its wings broken once can never fly again. I may still dream of flying freely through the skies, but it's only a temporary escape. In the end, it cannot escape its cage. She laughed bitterly to herself. Oh, so we don't even we don't even attempt to help Bellona. We just look at her pitifully. I don't understand relationships. You and I don't know anything about one another. And yet, here you are, getting angry for my sake, while I pour my heart out to you. It's because we're total strangers that you can get angry for my sake. Because we'll soon part that I can show you such a weak side of myself. Because we'll never see each other again. There's a certain comfort to a relationship like that. Ah, and here is where you get back to that same choice, but you've had a different conversation, so you can still, so you could still say, I'll help you, and then you can say that you can't accept that when she gives the same conversation here. I can't accept that. Why? I realized that question did not come only out of simple curiosity. There was something Bellona was hoping to hear. Because I know that if you carry on like this, you will only suffer. Like you said, I don't know why I, a total stranger, am acting this way. There was no way of knowing if that was the answer she was hoping for, but one thing was clear. But no matter how hard I try, I can't not care. Don't talk as if everything is hopeless. I may not know much about birds, but I know you aren't one. And I know when a person breaks a bone, they heal back stronger than ever. You failed so many times without giving up. Didn't you agree to help us because you still hadn't abandoned your hopes of freedom? Can you tell me I'm wrong? I knew it wasn't my place to interfere like this, but still, Ah, there you two are. Ashatis ran over, having found us just in time. It seems she'd been anxiously wandering around outside the banquet hall for a while. How did it go? Did you find the noble we saw? We were just talking about that. Were you able to recognize their voice? Bellona changed the topic immediately. It was clear she wished to end the conversation we'd been having there. I decided to respect her wishes. Yes, there's no doubt he was our man. His name is Baden Sutherland. His family is one of those who support Aether. He's a man of ruthless ambition, always aiming for more power. When you're a follower of profit over principle like him, it surely can't be hard for someone to convince you of their way of thinking. Be that as it may, this is as far as I can help you. I wish you the best of luck. And just like that, she left us, her words hanging in the air like a final goodbye. Thank the goddess we were able to find out who that person was. Ah, while you were at the banquet, I did a little investigating of my own. What? Did something happen? Oh no, it's nothing. Strange. Shatties, why do you keep running around, meeting all these people, having strange conversations? Could they have been talking about convincing him to join their side? But Baden, where have I heard that name before? Nope, can't remember. Thinking really isn't my forte. My specialty is jumping in and forcing out confessions. Fine, from this point on, I'm investigating according to my own methods. I will not allow this great nation, filled with the light of the goddess, to fall to the forces of evil.
It's the only way!
Hint. What could have happened if I told Bellona the truth about wanting to see her? Well, we can now move to June 4th. With Bellona's help, I found out who's behind the plot. Now I need to inform the Conclave. I heard you took some random ruffian with you to the banquet and paraded them around as your lover. Do you still lack awareness of your position in this family? Do you think this is an appropriate way for the future Queen of Azira to conduct herself? For the millionth time, I will not marry Prince Aether. Oh, be quiet already. Everything has already been prepared. Charles will be disgraced soon. Once he is out of the picture, he can no longer keep blocking this marriage. The Conclave is far too involved with matters of the royal family. We need them to be dealt with so you can become queen and control Aether. Are you plotting something again? It's none of your concern. None of my concern? We are talking about my future. What can you do even if you did know? It's already been arranged. There's no room for you to intervene. I thought you finally understood, but it would appear not. And now you're causing problems again? You will not be attending the coronation. You will be staying here in the mansion. I looked further into this Baden person, and he seems to have had a close relationship with Priest Nord. Priest Nord? He assisted Queen Diane during the Archdemon War. They became acquainted after they both worked on a heresy trial together. With the help of Noard, he gained some power. He then started accepting bribes in return for allowing people to enter the conclave, even without the necessary qualifications. People like Enoch. It can be no coincidence that he happened to be there in that hallway as well. That's right, but he lost it all after Noard left the conclave. Do you think perhaps he decided to change allegiance in hopes of regaining his lost power? Anyway, now we have a person and a motive. We can hand this over to the conclave. They should be able to do the rest. No. Bellona? You thought you'd never see me again, didn't you? It's fun how every thought you have is clear on your face. What are you doing here? Wait, more importantly, why are you telling us not to hand this over to the conclave? Without a word, Bellona pulled out a handful of papers. I found some documents detailing a plan to weaken the conclave. According to these, the plan happens tonight. More importantly, they already have someone inside the conclave. There's no way of knowing if the conclave can stop it, and even if it can be blocked in advance, there's too much room to escape. That will only give them a chance to try again with an even better plan. How did you find this? It turns out my family is one of those plotting. The Moon family? But my parents have no loyalty to Prince Aether. They just think it is best to keep him on the throne and control him themselves. And the easiest way to do that is to weaken the conclave. We need to stop their plans directly. There's no time for anything else. Oh, we get to fight here as Achates and Bellona. I didn't think I'd have to wear these clothes again. If you want to be allowed into the audience chamber, you need to look the part. Not to mention, those clothes really suit you. Bellona looked at me from head to toe before covering her mouth with her fan and smiling contentedly. My eye for fashion is never wrong. Ahem! I cleared my throat and opened up my chest more. Are you not going to act all brave this time around? Why bother when you wouldn't believe it anyway? Such a shame. Now isn't the time for joking, you two. The coronation is about to begin. I know, this is our only chance. We can't afford to fail. The final stage of the coronation ends with the king being handed a scepter representing dignity and handing down a decree of amnesty. The noble's plan involved the guard passing the scepter to take that opportunity to lunge at Aether with a concealed dagger. With magic and weapons prohibited within the chamber, it will be left to someone to throw their body in the way, at which point the guard will commit suicide. Becoming a public hero for saving the king, they would criticize Sir Charles for failing to perform his duty. Following an investigation, planted evidence would then be found implicating Sir Charles of embezzlement and negligence. Okay, so I'll need to grab the guard and stop him from committing suicide, then grab the evidence so the other things can't happen. So hurry up, if you're late they won't let you in. Wow, Lyrica, hello! Nice outfit. I'm afraid you won't be reaching the coronation at all. Lyrica? Whoa, what's with the dress? Caught you off guard, didn't I? That's exactly the kind of reaction I was hoping for. It's more like I didn't own any dresses that would allow me to blend into the crowd in the audience chamber, so I bought the first thing I could see that looked suitable. Are you the guard they bribed? Bribed? How dare you suggest such a thing? I have come here to stop Achates from falling into the clutches of evil and to protect Prince Aether and Azera. What are you talking about? There isn't time for this. Get out of the way. Baden told me everything. You intend to assassinate Prince Aether today so you can run away with your lover instead of being forced into an arranged marriage. Baden? Why were you... I received a suspicious tip that have been secretly tailing you ever since, Ashatis. I heard you talking about Baden, so I went to see him. It didn't take long to squeeze out some information about what you're up to. They are lies! Baden is the one who poses a threat to Prince Aether, not these two. Lies, you say? How convenient. But I can feel it in my bones. You are all evil! My sword will bring the truth to light! And that is why we have to fight here.
I'm excited. Shall we?
I won't lose.
Is it time for magic? I present to you the greatest magic.
For the goddess. Goddess!
I've been waiting for this moment. Release mana.
Everyone, I'll save you.
How will the battle go? All right, be careful. I will do my best.
For the goddess. Be well.
I've been waiting for this moment.
I won't lose. Vitality, rush forth.
Is it time for magic? Can you hold out for more? I will fight until the end.
Everyone, I'll save you. Please.
I present to you the greatest magic. This is where the real fight begins. I'm excited. How about this? I will do my best.
For the goddess.
My sword! What are you... that was such fun. I haven't felt so free in so long. Bellona, how... There's no time to explain. I'll take care of her. You hurry to the audience chamber. Okay. No, wait. Excuse me, over here. I'm a very jealous woman. I simply cannot abide anyone not giving me their full attention. coronation has begun, and the door to the audience chamber is shut. Ashatis and I ran to the audience chamber as fast as we could, but the doors were already firmly shut when we arrived. No entrance once the ceremony has begun. Please, it's important. No tantrums here, Ashatis. High Priestess Angelica has indulged you too much. Now you think you can demand anything you want. And what exactly is a servant doing here, dressed up as a noble? What are you up to? And it is right. Who do you think will be deemed responsible if I let you inside and something happens? I'll take responsibility for everything. Ashati stared at the guards resolutely. I defied my father to join the Blue Cross. My position here is more precious to me than my life. And why should we care? Annette clearly had no intention of allowing us inside, regardless of Ashati's pleas. At that moment, the sound of instruments rang out from behind the door. The ceremony had begun. BAM! With everyone's attentions diverted, Ashatis took the opportunity to attack the guards. It was the last thing I'd expect from someone so timid. Annette and the guards went tumbling down the corridor. Go on! Stop them! I kicked the door open just as Ashati shouted, immediately attracting the attention of many inside. Not knowing when a guard might leap out at me, I didn't hesitate and ran straight for the guard holding the scepter. Oh, what? I tackled him to the ground before he knew what was happening. Clang! The items he had been holding fell with a loud noise. One was the scepter, and the other, a dagger. Damn it! The guard grabbed the dagger and ran for Prince Aether. Well, earlier we have learned that someone was going to attempt stopping Prince Aether, taking the dagger for him, which is most likely gonna be Baden, to put Prince Charles in a bad daylight. So we could go and attempt to save Prince Aether, but perhaps if we scream for somebody to stop him, it might be Prince Charles who saves him. But it shall be us. I leaped back up and grabbed the soldier. Captured and puzzled about what to do next, the guard looked pleadingly at the nobles surrounding Aether. Those who met his eyes either pretended not to know him or shook their heads and stepped back. All the strength drained from him. After all the trouble, Tyrell Castle has returned to normal. Nobody wanted it to get out that King Aether was caught up in an assassination attempt so soon after his coronation, so the entire incident was quickly swept under the rug. Upon questioning, the guard confessed to having made a deal with Baden to have his family's debts repaid in return for the attempted assassination. It emerged there were numerous other co-conspirators, but the guard knew nothing about them, and Baden kept his mouth shut tight. The two of them appealed that they never had any intention of actually harming King Aether, but were ignored. I was also asked how I came to find out about the plot, but I refused to tell them. Revealing the connection between the Moon family and the plot would only harm Bellona. Naturally, this led to questions about my relationship with the conspirators, but Ashatis desperately defended my innocence. Thanks to her reputation within the Conclave and due to the fact I was a loser with no connections to any powerful people, I was able to overcome the accusations. I also began exchanging letters with Bellona. So we can now see and we can now write a letter asking Bellona what happened to Lydica, or telling Bellona you want to meet her. And I do want to meet Bellona if we meet up. It is then also possible to talk about Lydica there. At the end of one of my letters, I asked her if she could spare some time to meet with me. She replied that since the incident, her family had become even more vigilant and that it would be impossible to go out for a while. But I refused to give up and vowed to meet her face to face, if only for one last goodbye. I never got an answer. Not long after, Sir Charles summoned me to see him. "I've called you here today because I have a favor to ask. I would like you to be King Aether's assistant. Your job will be to stay by his side, keep him out of danger, and watch for anything suspicious." "Me? I'm sure there are talented knights far more suited." "I'm not sure if that's what's best for King Aether. His Majesty is so soft and delicate. After what happened, if he has an armed guard following him around, watching him 24/7, I'm sure he would get upset. He might even run away again. I was hoping to prevent that by finding an assistant as soon as possible. But all the nobles are only interested in furthering their own family's prospects." His face creased into a frown just at the thought of it. "Anyway, you are loyal and determined, and you have no connections to anyone in power, so there are no worries about you getting involved in power struggles. I think you're perfect for the job. Do you agree?" "Well, so we can tell Charles to leave it to me. I'll do my best. And we can say that's a lot of pressure." And that is indeed a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. If that's what you think, I won't force you. You were willing to give up an opportunity to at least triple your salary, so you certainly are strong-willed. I knew you'd be a good choice. But alas, I can't force you to do something you don't want to do. Feel free to go home now. Triple? It's a heavy burden, but I think it will be a good opportunity to make a lot of money, to serve someone so honorable. I was planning to accept the offer after blowing it off a couple of times, but in the end, I had to practically beg for it. How humiliating. I should have just said yes from the beginning. And so that's how I received a special promotion from lowly servant to Aether's assistant. Life and work carried on smoothly without any problems at all. Good ending 1. Peaceful Tyrell Castle. All according to plan. Baden must have thought he failed. He doesn't even know he's been abandoned. It's a shame, but that's karma. Everyone is expecting a lot from you, myself included. I hope you won't let me down. Lydica and Bellona were momentarily investigated for their duel. According to Bellona, Lydica almost matched her in strength and was at risk of receiving additional punishment. But even though she's simple-minded, she doesn't seem like a bad person, So Bellona testified that it was nothing more than a fight over a small dispute. Of course, I told her how the assassination attempt was thwarted and how sorry I was that it wouldn't be possible to reveal her key role in stopping it. Bellona, however, didn't seem to care. She told me it was enough for her that the whole thing had given her the opportunity to rethink her life, which helped lighten my heart. Not long after, Sir Charles summoned me to see him. Leave it to me, I'll do my best. I didn't hesitate for even a second. Leave it to me, I'll do my best. I like your enthusiasm, I'm sure you will do well. And so that's how I received a special promotion from lowly servant to Aether's assistant. Life and work carried on smoothly without any problems at all. The one waiting in the rose garden was. Returning to my bedroom after talking with Sir Charles, I found a letter. Meet me in the rose garden at 2 p.m. on the 7th. The letter did not say who it was from, but I knew immediately. Special story, final goodbye. How have you been? As expected, the letter was from Bellona. She told me she was able to come visit the castle under the excuse of seeing if Aether was safe. I didn't think I'd see you again. There's something I need to tell you. I was going to find the opportunity, no matter what it took. I had to tell you in person. Bellona paused for a moment before carrying on. You are right. I was constantly looking for excuses for my actions. Greedy for my lost freedom, I took your hand pretending I had been tricked. I fooled even myself, but you knew it was all a lie. Thanks to you, I regained the courage to fight back against my stepmother. So thank you, really. Honestly, I didn't know exactly how you felt. But I knew that if I didn't say anything that time either, I would deeply regret it. That time? There was someone else who said something similar to you, but I said nothing, and it has weighed on me ever since. That's why I said those things to you without even really thinking. Did you practice this little speech on the way too? I'd say it's more like retrying a conversation I've already had. All the same, soon everything will be sorted out and we'll find our place. But I won't go back to how I was. This whole incident has taught me that I'm not the kind of person to be able to give up even when I have decided to. As you say, I will refuse to fall down. I will try my hardest until the very end. With a smile, Bellona stretched and took a couple steps forward and turned towards me with a relieved look on her face. I guess there's really no chance for us to see each other again for a while. It would appear so. A shame. You're quite the dance partner. Was I really that good? Not exactly, but you were interesting. Well, the clothes were too uncomfortable for me to exhibit my true ability at the time. Are you sure? Would you like me to prove it? I slyly held out my hand for Bellona. She took it and led me to the center of the rose garden. There was no grand banquet hall and no music, but we danced to our heart's content across a wide meadow under the open sky. The wind whipped at our hair and clothes, but I had never seen Bellona happier. Under the sunlight, I thought she was the brightest jewel I had ever seen. Seeing her like that, I prayed sincerely to the goddess that one day she would be truly free. One day she would laugh and smile again like she was just at the moment. Special Ending 1, Rose Garden Waltz.